This is The Way You Lead, a show for the new era of leaders who are ready to rise. I'm Joshua Church, and every week we explore how to lead from the inside out with strength, heart, and authenticity. Through stories, strategies, and conversations with embodied leaders, you'll gain what you need to lead yourself and others in today's changing world. The way you lead matters, and now is the time to step up. All right, welcome back. I hope you're having a beautiful day wherever you're tuning into this. Today I wanted to talk about a concept that is really always top of mind for me and something I share a lot about. And I wanted to provide a bit of a different context and lens for sharing about this, which is being the thermostat and not the thermometer in life. This to me is a core tenet of any leader. And this is a core tenet of self-leadership. This is one of the most important principles of self-leadership. And I just love the framing for this because it's so simple. The concept is great leaders don't wait to see how the day feels. They decide how they're going to show up and set the tone for the day. That is a thermostat. Thermostat actually sets the temperature, regulates the temperature. If it's cold, it brings up the heat. If it's hot, it brings it down. It sets the temperature where you want it to be set. A thermometer just goes up and down depending on the temperature. It doesn't change. It doesn't change the actual environment. It just goes up and down and goes with it. So thermostats set the tone, its presence, its energy from the inside out. And so this episode today is about how to lead yourself first thing in the morning, specifically how to generate momentum, how to set the temperature for your thermostat for the day and in every moment that follows. So here's 5 ways I want to share with you today, 5 ways on how to be the thermostat and build real momentum in your days. So number 1 is set the temperature. So first thing first, decide that you are going to set the temperature before the room does. So there's a story I wanted to share with you that really brings this to light. So it applies to the macro and also to the micro. But from the macro standpoint, being the thermostat means deciding how you're going to feel, lead, and hold space before the world gives you reason to. So what's the first thing most of us do when we wake up? Grab the phone, turn the alarm off, see what messages we had from overnight, scroll, maybe launch Instagram, scroll our emails. We are opening ourselves up to be like, hey world, what's going on today? Like, let me see something to be excited about. I'm hoping for good news. And then I have good news. I'm going to perk myself up and be excited. Or crap, there's bad news, or there's this bad email or stress. And now I'm down the negative rabbit hole. Do not do this. Do not do this. One of the biggest changes I made in my entire life that will always stick with me, that is such a hack, is to not grab that phone right away. Use a real alarm clock. I love the sunrise alarm clock, so it naturally brightens. If you do that, if you share a bed with a partner or a room with a roommate, maybe you need to just do the silent one. Or my cousin Rob uses his Whoop band and it like vibrates to wake him up. So there's plenty of different ways to do it, but whatever works for you, just do not grab that phone. Certainly until you get up and actually wake up and get out of bed and brush your teeth and drink some water and wake your body up a little bit, at the least. And then at the most, tune into your morning practice first before actually grabbing for the email or social media or text messages. And it's something you will not regret doing. So one of the things that one story that I love to share that really just highlights this is that when I was working at Edge, we had one of the toughest days. It was a really tough day. We had one of our big clients that we were co-branding 100 units with. So it's a $500,000 order. So big customer. They were super pissed about something that happened with customer support relating to a VIP client that they had. And I'll take ownership. There was absolutely mess up on our part, and there was also ownership that they were not taking themselves that created the situation with misaligned expectations. But I will take ownership for that 100%. I get into the office at 9 a.m. into this absolute shitstorm. My business partner's on the call. He's getting chewed out. There's emails coming in. There's lawyers getting involved, and it was like this holy like, oh shit, this is going to be a battle today to navigate through this. And I just remember walking in and being like, okay, cool, let's handle it. And I had this cool, calm disposition and this demeanor of like, all right, let's navigate through it. Let's do it. We can, well, there's a solution. We'll get through it. Like, this is not going to kill us. Like, we're going to be okay. And I saw how that just affected the rest of the entire executive team that was on the meeting and the environment that was going on in the office that morning because of how hectic and chaotic it was. And it just felt natural. I was like, cool, I can do this. Let's go. And I just had this cool, calm disposition. And the only reason that I was able to have that cool, calm disposition is because I was up earlier that morning. I hit a workout. I got to my journal. I did my ice bath. I showered and got dressed for the day. And then I got to the office. So I was feeling already awake and alive and relaxed in my body. And I had already done an ice bath push. I had already put my body into some stress and forced myself to regulate, so that when I got to the office, it was like, okay, cool. Let's handle it. Let's deal with it. That's what it means to be the thermostat. Because what I had done in the past, and what I think a lot of people do, is just stroll into the office and turn on right before you're about to work and plug in. You are putting yourself at such a vulnerability and such a whim for whatever the day is going to provide. And that's a very disempowered approach to leading your life. Very disempowered. Because here's the thing, is that a lot of times there's going to be good news waiting for you. Cool. Good news. Amazing. I'm going to be high now and I feel good because there's good news waiting for me. Great. Oh, we had a couple sales come in overnight. Amazing. I feel good now. Or we didn't have sales come in. Ooh, I feel bad. That was the way I was operating, and it was just exhausting and it was disempowering. So instead I said, I'm going to be the thermostat, and I'm going to set the temperature every morning before I check those things. And I'm going to practice. It's a practice. I'm going to practice not letting those things affect my disposition. So that's it. That's the message to share. Your emotional baseline is your leadership foundation. So set it before you need it on the macro. And then on a micro level, like little things pop up or happen, or you get an email, take a breath into it and say, cool, all right, I'm noticing that this makes me feel cold or bad, and I'm going to set the temperature up. Let's move through it. Let's make it happen. So that's something that I wanted to share. And then also on the other side of that, if you feel yourself getting too high, ground yourself. Oh, amazing. All these things are going well. Take a deep breath. Let me ground myself. This shall pass, and this too shall pass. Okay, this is temporary. Grounding yourself to stay that kind of even keeled center. That's what really good leadership does. So that's number one, is set the temperature before the room does, so that you can handle whatever curveballs life throws your way. Number two is every day is a blank canvas. So one of my close friends and mentors, Jorn de Bruin, who I've co-led some retreats in Iceland with, and who was my facilitator the first time I did any breathwork, cold immersion, dear, one of my favorite humans on planet Earth. He shared his perspective on this, which is that every day he asks himself, what do I feel I need the most today, this morning? Every day is a blank canvas. And I like this approach a lot, which is every day is a blank canvas. And what I did yesterday to build momentum and to get momentum moving forward positively and to set the temperature may be different than what I need today. In fact, it probably is going to be different than I need today. So instead of just constantly going down the rabbit hole of routine, like a lot of people do and have been burnt out on, like I have, like, cool, I'm gonna do these 10 things before 10 a.m. and then all of a sudden I'm exhausted before the day even starts. And now I feel shitty about missing those things, which is totally contrary to the point, because we do these things to set the temperature so that we can feel good. And like, you shouldn't feel shitty about doing them or not doing them. So I like this approach that is, every day is a blank canvas, and you have this palette of colors, that you have these different tools that you can use, and you can design whatever you want. You can draw whatever you want on that blank canvas. It doesn't matter as long as you do something. So that's something I've stuck to, and that helps so much alleviate, like, oh, I didn't do a long meditation this morning, or I didn't meditate at all, or I didn't journal because I'm on the road, or I wasn't able to do this workout, so I didn't do my whole morning routine, and now I throw the whole thing out the window. A lot of people do that. You don't need to do that. It's not all or nothing. It's something. Do something. Don't worry about all or nothing. Worry about doing something to build momentum, something to get you moving, something to get the energy moving. It can be a number of different things. For me, some days it's movement. Some days it's doing a little yoga flow. Sometimes it's actually doing a workout. Some days it's journaling. Some days it's meditation. Some days it's both. Some days it's breath work. Some days it's going for a walk and listening to a YouTube video. Some days it's going for a walk without a YouTube video. And I adapt based on where I'm traveling, what I've got going on that day. I ask myself, what do I need today to build momentum? So ask yourself, what do I need in this moment? What does my body need? What do I need in this moment to build momentum? Do something. It can be listening to an audiobook, listening to a YouTube lecture, whatever it is. Do something to get that momentum going. My friend Nick does something that I love, which is he does a barefoot walk through his neighborhood, and he uses that as prayer, and he talks to God out loud as he walks through the neighborhood. And he said he's had 2 wellness checks. The neighbors have sent someone to make sure he's not losing it twice, because as you can imagine, he's walking with his coffee barefoot through the neighborhood, just talking out loud, babbling. Looks like a madman, but it works for him. He does it every single morning. First thing he gets up out of bed, gets out and gets into motion and gets moving. I like that too. I like doing that a lot, because it's nice to like just wake up and get that fresh air, get your body moving, get your brain online, and start to build some positive momentum. You come back, I promise you, if you go out of bed before checking your phone, you go for a walk, even a 5-minute walk to the end of the street and back in that fresh air, and then you grab your phone. If there's an email waiting for you on that phone that is a shitty email, it is going to feel 1,000 times less shitty after you take that walk than had you read it before you took that walk. It just will. Try it. If you don't believe me, try it. So every day is a blank canvas, and the important thing is doing something. Number 3 is I wanted to share part of my journaling practice and some of the most high leverage work that I really do. One of the phrases I love from Abraham Hicks is put the effort where the effort belongs. So not all actions are created equal, and 1 hour of aligned action can be more productive and more powerful than 10 hours of unaligned action. So for me, most of the most important work I do every morning, or most mornings, is work with my journal. Is I sit with my journal. And the way that I do my journaling practice, and I wanted to share because people were asking about this, is everybody does it differently. Great. Here's the way that I do it, which is I sit with my journal and my cup of coffee. I love listening to Malte Martin, the handpan guy. Look him up if you haven't. Malte Martin, handpan. It just puts me in this kind of trance state. So I got Malte Martin in my ears. I got my journal, blank page. I got my coffee, and I'm checking in. I just start sharing, start writing down, reflecting on what happened the day before, what kind of emotions came up, what's happened today, what's on my mind. And I give myself complete permission to roam. And I have my phone with me, and a lot of people won't. I have my phone with me because as I'm writing, it'll remind me, oh, let me respond to this person right now. So I'll respond to that person in the flow, right in action, like if it feels in flow, or I'll make a note to do it later. Or I have this idea of I want to write a piece on this, or let me write a message to the WhatsApp group right now. And I'll follow that flow, and I'll just do it right then and there because I'm in this aligned state of being. And so I quasi work while I'm with my journal. So sometimes it'll take me 30 minutes to get through one page because I'll be back and forth with my journal, reflecting on something deeper or working through something, a decision that I'm making, and then also actually sending an email while I'm doing it, or sending or typing out the structure of an email. That way, when I go to my computer later, I have something to work off of from that aligned state, and then it's just execution and action. So it's really this deep intuitive space for me, and it usually ends up being about an hour in the morning, and it's the highest leverage work that I do all day. It's where clarity lives and decisions emerge. And I'll work through decision. I was just working through decision around hiring for it just this morning as I was sitting there, and I'm like, here's what I feel about this. And this is what best case scenario would be. And I don't know about this. And I'm like, oh, well, maybe I could do this. Maybe I could split this and take this role over here and put this role over here, this person. I think that's a good idea. Let me look at that. And then I'll play that scenario. And that came from that aligned state. It didn't come from me getting to my computer caffeinated and just being like, what am I going to do today? So for me, that works really well, is to tune into that alignment first space and in that deep intuitive space. So don't outsource your clarity. This is my call to action to you on this note, is don't outsource your clarity. Make space for your own wisdom first, because I believe that you are your best teacher, your best coach, your best mentor. You have the answer. So make space for your own wisdom first, and see if you can try that integrated journaling session. Number 4, in the fourth perspective here and how to really be the thermostat, not thermometer, and own your morning and build momentum is to reset daily, is to remember that every day is a blank canvas, and every day is a new opportunity. It's a new vibrational plane. It's a new energy. It's a new moment. You have new power in this morning, in this day. And so regardless of how shitty yesterday was, or if things didn't go your way yesterday, guess what? You had another opportunity. And if yesterday was great, guess what? You can build on that momentum. Let's do it again. Nice to know ya. Let's do it again. That's something that my boy Chad and I always say, and he says with Corey, who he's working with right now. Let's do it again. We get to do it again. Let's go. Let's run this shit back. Here we go. Build that hype. Every day is a reset, and all your work from yesterday, time to go back to work today. Time to plant the seeds. All the seeds you planted yesterday, great. The yesterday's done. Today's a new day. Let's plant some new seeds today. Let's get things moving. And one of my good friends, and he's been on this podcast as well. He's a World Series champion, Tommy Edman for the LA Dodgers. He says one of the things that his secret is short-term memory. How do you make the slumps that you're in be as short as possible? And how can you, after you strike out in a big spot, how can you get back mentally to get to the next at bat that you have in 45 minutes from now to be ready to go again? Because baseball is such a tough sport mentally. You've got 3 or 4 shots a game at bat to do something. And so every spot is so heightened and so big and so important. And you got 45 minutes in between each spot usually that to dwell on it or to let it consume you. So how he says, one of the things he says is the best players in the locker room that he sees, and he's playing on an amazing team with MLB All-Stars, with Shohei Ohtani, Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, all these amazing people, Clayton Kershaw. And he says the best players, they're able to separate it out and they're able to reset, and they strike out. Great. Get ready for the next at-bat. They hit a home run. Great. Get ready for the next at-bat. They have that short-term memory, and that's really important. So the same applies to leadership. So lead from right now. You have the power. Yesterday, doesn't matter how yesterday went. Doesn't matter how that meeting went. Great. New day. Let's go. Have that short-term memory and use every morning as a way to recalibrate yourself. That brings us into the last one here, which is, speaking of recalibration, is this embodiment practice I've been doing recently, which I've been calling my calibration. And I wanted to share with you. So this is something I've been doing, and I've been really big on embodiment recently, and this concept of embodiment, of embodying the version of you that you want to become and who you're stepping into. And embodying it's a feeling practice. You have to practice that feeling of who you are becoming, because the version of you in the future that has the things you want, that's a certain energy. And guess what? You can feel that now by just feeling into that. How does that version of you in the future that has achieved the goals, how does that person act? How do they think? How do they walk, talk, breathe? That's the embodiment practice. I've shared on this podcast as well another episode called Take an Embodiment Walk, which is take a walk. It's a tool of like, can you take a walk and embody and pretend, act as if you have those things, act as if you are that leader, you are that, that provider, you are that future person that's accomplished those things. How does that feel? Try that on. And, I would have an embodiment cup of coffee sometimes too, where I'm not journaling or anything. I'm just sipping my coffee, looking out at the lake or looking out at nature. And I'm just like embodying, and I'm acting as if I'm visualizing, I'm daydreaming. So this calibration has been a really cool part. I actually have it here. Let me show you. So I carry it in my wallet now. And what I did is I put together I just wrote on this little note card here, these 5 archetypes of archetypes that I'm stepping into and that I want to step into for this next chapter. And the future version of myself embodies these different archetypes. So the archetypes are leader, provider, athlete, lover, and artist. They're 5. There could be many more. There could be fewer for sure. But these 5 feel the most emotionally charged and alive for me right now. So every morning as I sit there and as I'm finishing my meditation and before I drop into my journal, usually I will pull out this note card and I'll just look at these. And now I just know it off the top of my head, and I'll feel into each one of these. What does it feel like to be the leader? What's that feeling? I love feeling that feeling of serving others that I'm called to serve and leading people to their power, to their purpose, to God. I love that feeling. That feels so good. I love feeling that leader. Provider. I love that feeling of receiving abundance, of receiving income, of being able to provide for my family, for my friends, and for those in needs. That feels so good being that provider. I'm an athlete. I love that feeling of feeling strong and healthy and capable and confident and not limited in pain by any means and being able to do all the things that I want to do. That feels so good. I'm a lover. I love that feeling of divine union with my wife, and that feeling of partnership and connection and being in love with life's beauty and life's awe. That feels so good. Let me feel that for a sec. I'm an artist. That feeling of expressing creativity, of sharing, of producing, of creating, of keeping that artist perspective, of being inspired and playful with the life. I love that feeling of being that artist and the playfulness that comes with that. So that's exactly what I'll do. And I'll sit and I'll really feel those. And what we know, especially from Joe Dispenza's work, is that our body doesn't know the difference between a vividly imagined reality and actual reality. And so when I'm feeling this, I'm literally recalibrating my DNA on a molecular and cellular level. I'm calibrating my DNA to feel this way. And we know this law of attraction, it's a real thing. It's going to bring me these opportunities and this environment to step into that. Because here's the thing, I'm not going to become a leader once I'm in the opportunity to lead. I'm not going to become a provider once I'm in the opportunity to provide, once I'm in the position to provide. I will become a provider through being a provider. And that's now. This is the bridge. So I like to think of this calibration practice as this is me walking this bridge and stepping towards this future that I'm building. So that's number 5 to share in terms of calibration. And that really feels like this is me setting the thermostat on a vibrational level. Like, yes, there's the momentum level and the mindset level and the body level of getting going and setting the thermostat there. But then there's also this vibrational level. I know this is the temperature. This is where I want to be. This is what it feels like. Let me feel that now. Let me set that vibrationally and trust that I will receive that as it's coming on its way to me. So that's what I wanted to share today. A couple things to remember is that you don't have to control the day. In fact, you can't control the day. You won't be able to control the day. What you need to focus on is how you enter the day. Control how you enter the day, how you begin that day, because it's so much easier to build momentum in the morning when you're getting going before you plug into everything than it is once things are just started flowing your way. In other words, a great analogy for this that Abraham Hicks uses is if you had to stop a car rolling down a hill, like imagine the San Francisco hill where they've got those steep hills. If you had to stop a car from rolling down that hill that's in neutral and it's rolling, would it be easier to stop it down halfway down the hill once it's rolling? Or would it be easier to stop it when it just starts to move forward at the top of the hill before it starts going? Definitely the top of the hill. It can like bump you in the leg and it won't even affect you. But if you're halfway down the hill, it's going to knock you over. It's going to hit you hard. You're going to be hurt. So momentum is a force multiplier. And the more that we can build momentum at the start will allow us to have a successful day. And that is real leadership. Be the thermostat, not the thermometer. Huge concept. Hopefully this was valuable and helpful. I want to hear from you. DM me if this was valuable or if there's anything that you're taking from this practice. Try that calibration, write down things on a note card. I dropped this in the group chat as well. A couple of people already shared their words and archetypes that they put down. So hope that's helpful. If you're not in the group chat, definitely get in there because we'll keep you on this honest on this journey and on this wavelength. And until next time, thank you for tuning in. Be that thermostat. You got this. Let's go.